Welcome to this explainer. Today, we are unpacking one of the most intense edge-of-your-seat survival narratives ever recorded, Exodus 14. We're looking at a moment where human endurance is literally pushed to the absolute brink, and faith gets tested right up against crashing waves. So let's jump right in and break down exactly how this impossible sequence of events unfolded.
I want you to really put yourself in their shoes for a second. Imagine standing on a shoreline. What would you do if a vast, completely uncrossable ocean blocked your path forward and, oh yeah, a heavily armed military force is bearing down on you from behind? I mean, it is the ultimate nightmare scenario, right? This brings us to our first section, an impossible trap, and how the chase closes in.
To really grasp the magnitude of this miracle, we have to look at how incredibly fast this situation deteriorated. On day one, you have this huge initial victory. Pharaoh finally lets the Israelites go. Awesome, right? But then, literally the next day, Pharaoh changes his mind. By day 3, he's gathering his military forces for a massive, aggressive chase. And then by day 4, the people find themselves entirely trapped. Talk about whiplash. Their freedom became a deadly dead end in record time. And this setup perfectly illustrates the sheer terror of their reality. They are completely boxed in. Right in front of them, you've got the deep, impassable waters of the Red Sea, shutting down any forward progress. And closing in super fast from behind is the terrifying sight of Pharaoh's massive army that cuts off any chance of retreat. Every single physical avenue of escape is completely shut down. No way forward, no way back. Moving into section 2, panic versus faith, and two very different reactions. When physical escape becomes impossible, fear just completely takes over. And we see a fascinating psychological divide here. On one hand, you have a totally natural human reaction. The Israelites are absolutely panicking. They turn on their leader, crying out, "Why did you bring us here?" But then, right in the face of a screaming crowd and an approaching army, Moses shows this unshakable faith. He responds simply, "Do not be afraid." And the absolutely crucial point is right here in this singular command from Moses, "Stand still and see the salvation of the Lord." Think about how incredibly counterintuitive that is. Every human survival instinct is screaming at you to run or fight or do something. Yet Moses is asking an entire terrified population to just suppress their panic and watch. It's a massive test of faith. Which leads us to section 3, the Red Sea miracle and making a way. So here we are at the awe-inspiring climax of our explainer. This is where divine intervention fundamentally alters the physical landscape. Let's break down this unimaginable event, step by awe-inspiring step. First, Moses raises his staff. Second, this incredibly powerful wind begins to blow relentlessly, all night long. Third, under the sheer force of that wind, the deep waters actually begin to physically part. And finally, step 4, a clear path appears, with these towering, unnatural walls of water standing firm on both sides. Now, I want you to notice this specific, incredible detail here. The text says the people walked through on dry ground. They weren't just wading through waist-deep water or struggling through some slippery, muddy ocean floor. And that's absolutely crucial, because a muddy bottom would have easily swallowed the heavy, ironclad wheels of the Egyptian chariots chasing them. This wasn't just some lucky, narrow escape. It was a fully prepared, completely secure path of salvation provided specifically for them. Now for section 4, the waters crash back and the army's fates. Because of course, the pursuit wasn't over. And notice how quickly the miracle of salvation for one group turns into a sudden, definitive conclusion for the pursuing forces. First, Pharaoh's army blindly follows the Israelites straight into that exact same path. Second, the environment completely turns against them. And third, those towering walls of water come crashing violently back down. The sea closed, and the army was gone. It's just this blunt, stark reality. It shows us that the threat wasn't just temporarily stopped or slowed down for a bit. It was entirely erased from existence. In just a fraction of a moment, the landscape returns to normal, and this terrifying army is completely swallowed by the sea. Finally, section 5, the journey continues, and what we take away. So what does this all mean for us? Why does this ancient survival story still resonate so deeply today? Well, the ultimate takeaway is pretty clear. First off, God saved his people in an unimaginable way. I mean, nobody looks at a literal ocean and naturally sees a road. Second, He completely defied the laws of nature to make a way where there was absolutely no way forward. It stands as a timeless testament to finding hope in impossible danger, proving that a path can appear even when all physical evidence says the situation is utterly hopeless. But I want to leave you with this thought to ponder. What happens next in the wilderness? Sure, they survive the crashing waves, and the immediate threat of the army is gone. But as they step onto that opposite shore and watch the waters settle down, what immense new challenges await this newly freed people in a vast, unforgiving desert? The Red Sea miracle was a profound rescue for sure, but it leaves us perfectly primed for the next, highly unpredictable chapter of their incredible journey.